trying to get a deeper, more comprehensive read on the employment situation in this country, whether it be through payroll processors like Paychex, regular visitor, or staffing companies like Manpower, Robert Half. And in keeping with the Dickensian tale of two cities nature of our economy, tonight we're checking in with a company that's got a fabulous read on what the job market is like for the 1% crowd. I'm talking about Korn Ferry International, KFY. Hey, this is a global talent management firm that's particularly focused on executive recruitment, helping many of the world's largest companies find and choose board members and senior executives I know personally do an unbelievably good job. And a Korn Ferry business is good, hence why the stock has rallied more than 25% year to date and hit a new high today. We've got a serious skills gap in this country, so when it comes to recruiting people for high-level positions, you have more jobs than there are qualified people. It's the exact opposite of things are for most of the country, even with a job market that's steadily improving. So let's check in with Gary Burnison. He's the CEO of Korn Ferry International and author of 12 Absolutes of Leadership. You can check the website for Korn Ferry. There's a lot of good stuff, including his books. Mr. Burnison, thank you so much for coming on to Mad Money. Gary, I got to tell you, just because your website features CNBC and a clip that you have with my friend Michelle Crusoe-Cabrera, there's an interview you done right before the election. And in it, you said, you know what, there's so much indecision. There's so much worry and fretting that business just can't get it going. Well, here we are, man. We had that election 9 months ago, and it's still not happening.
Well, it's like 1:30 in the afternoon after a hangover. I mean, that's where we are.
We need hair of the dog.
We need something.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is you don't have the conspicuous consumer, and everybody's delevering. And so CEOs are slow to hire. They're trying to innovate, then hire, not hire, then innovate.
But when I look at your stock price and I go through the conference call, what is clear to me is that the trend is getting better. Particularly, I like the fact that it seemed like financial services hiring, one of your best bailiwicks, is starting to get better.
Yeah, it certainly has, but it's slow. I mean, this thing is a Nike swoosh. You know, it's going to be long and steady and protracted. I mean, it is. This is the new normal.
But at the same time, your company has been able to develop other revenue streams besides just pure so-called headhunting that have really kind of buttressed the way your earnings outlook should be.
They have, and today 40% of our business comes from outside what we're known for executive search. So it's anchored around leadership development. And as a CEO, you know, it's one thing to attract people, but then you got to get them to work together towards a common purpose, and that's what we're anchoring our business in.
Now, in the June 17th conference call, you said that we are, I'm going to quote, we are disappointed by that, and what you were talking about was in reference to the organic growth in the leadership business. But here you just said the leadership business is good. So how do I reconcile this?
It's good. I mean, that business, you know, 7 years ago was $7 million. Right. Today, it's $240 million. So we've done a series of acquisitions over the last few years that really has made this firm, you know, a talent management firm in total.
Now, you also have a huge cash position, but you're not buying back stock. You're just waiting for the next big moment.
Well, we want to invest in the business. We want to continue to take this fabulous brand and go into adjacent services to help companies, you know, not just find people, but design a talent strategy and build capability.
There are a lot of people who watch this show who've never been in on a search. Unfortunately, I've been on a bunch of them, and I've dealt with Korn Ferries around the globe to try to get the right people. Can you please describe to people the phone call you get and then all the calls you have to make in order to be able to find the right person so they understand why you get such a big chunk of that person's first year salary?
Well, you know, it's no more about finding the person. Okay. It's finding out who that person is.
Okay.
And so we're in a situation today where we don't have this conspicuous consumer, where the levers of growth for a CEO are just 2 or 3. And so you're in a new position here. And so we're trying to find out who people are. Can they make the difference between 2% growth and 5% growth?
Well, it also seems like that you're looking for people who you call borderless people, which to me means people who are not ethnocentric and just focused on the United States anymore.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when I grew up, the United States was right in the middle of the map, right? Look today.
Well, it was Greenland, that big thing in the United States.
The
rest of it was,
Yeah, then Kansas, where I was raised.
Right, exactly right.
But if you look today, I mean, 2/3 of the world's middle class is going to be in Asia.
Right.
So cultural dexterity, the ability to meet people where they are, and to drive goods and services across, you know, these artificial lines on maps called borders.
Right. Well, that part in emerging markets, we had some turmoil in emerging markets, but it's not reflected in your numbers. That's still where great growth is.
Yeah, it's not. You know, I lived in China last year. There was incredible inflationary pressure there, but still long term, you know, you've just got to look at that. You know, given the population, the density.
Well, let's think long term about Europe for a second. Europe was down in the quarter, but I believe that Europe is bottomed. Am I being too optimistic?
No, I don't think you are. I mean, we've seen that as well.
Really? You have? Okay.
Yeah, we have.
With big corporations, with middle-sized companies, where's the turn that you're seeing?
With big-size companies. Okay. And if you look globally right now, the hot area is life sciences and healthcare.
Okay. Well, I know we've seen acquisitions there. We're seeing growth. One last question. I interviewed Preet Bharara today. Now, he is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, Manhattan. One of the things that he has is that the culture comes from the man at the top. I'm curious to know, when you are being hired, how often do boards now say, and listen, our most important thing is we want this man to tell the truth, be honest, and we care about that more than anything else right now?
Well, for that executive, that man or woman, it all comes down to authenticity. I mean, leadership comes down to, making others believe and enabling that belief to become reality. You've got to connect with the other person, and they've got to look into your eyes and see your soul.
And you've ferreted out probably in your time a lot of people who turns out weren't who they say.
Yes.
You have.
Yeah.
Sobering note. But anyway, I think congratulations on your stock being terrific. Really is great. And I don't think it's done because it's still very inexpensive versus the rest of the group, even though you're doing better than they are. Kind of an anomaly. Thank you so much to Gary Burnison. He is the CEO of Korn, Ferry International. Okay, take a look at the stock. It's still well off where it was not that long ago. That makes no sense to me. Stay with Cramer.